Hi everyone, thanks so much for watching. This is Rosie, and today I want to bring a brand new series that I have been thinking of, that I've been wanting to bring to everyone for many years, and I'm finally doing it. It's called Is It Helpful or Is It Harmful? Helpful meaning, is it more helpful to your health, or is it harmful and should we avoid that food altogether? We'll be talking primarily about foods, and foods that are that have a little bit of confusion about them between the media and the science and what people have to say with their own experience with eating or not eating these foods. So I want to basically bring clarification around these foods. I want to help you make healthy choices and healthy educated choices so that next time you're shopping in the supermarket, you know what to look for. You know what's healthy, you know what's maybe not healthy, and you'll avoid getting those unhealthy things because now you know. So I know that there's a lot of foods that people think are really healthy and they actually aren't. And the primary example today that we're, not the primary, a good example today that I want to start off this series with is milk. So if you are one of those people who thinks that you need to drink milk for strong bones, it has lots of calcium, it has amino acids for protein, then and you want to drink milk for strong healthy bones or etc., whatever your reason is, then this episode is exactly for you, because milk isn't as healthy as it was once thought to be. Milk is still promoted to us as one of the healthiest foods for our bones. If we want to have strong healthy bones, we should drink milk, right? That's how the messages are targeted to us. But in reality, milk is very acidic. And say very briefly, I'll explain the acid-alkaline index. When we drink milk, we're getting some acidic liquid into our body. But our body needs to stay in this homeostasis, this kind of like more of like a neutral pH, right? So it needs an alkaline substance to kind of equal it out so that we can stay in balance and not be too acidic and not be too alkaline. So when we drink the milk, which is naturally, or which is the milk that we'll find in the stores, is acidic. So we need to balance it. What's one of the most easily accessible and alkaline things in our body? It's calcium, and the easiest place to take it from is actually from the bones. So what we've been told throughout many years and decades is that milk is healthy for our bones, and we need milk to grow healthy, strong bones, which is why a lot of moms feed it to their kids. But the way that it's processed in packages and sits on the shelf, milk is actually more acidic for our bodies. So it needs to take the calcium from our bones, leading to osteoporosis. So it's actually the opposite of what we've been told for so many years. But now you know. The second thing is that milk is basically made for baby cows, right? Just as human milk is made for human babies to grow into a healthy, strong baby, milk from cows is made for a calf to grow to full adult size within a matter of months or a year, or however long it takes for that baby cow to grow to full size in a healthy and strong way. So, cows are much bigger and much heavier than human beings, and when human beings drink a lot of milk, you might notice that they gain a little bit of weight, and that's what it's made to do. Conventional milk comes from cows that are conventionally raised, meaning that they usually sit in tight quarters, sitting in each other's waist, eating genetically modified grains and corn, and having to be injected with or having to take antibiotics. Basically, the cow in itself is really unhealthy. This is especially when you're getting conventional milk that isn't organic. So we want to avoid that kind of milk or cream or any kind of dairy products as much as possible. Or 100%, if you're just starting out, if this is brand new to you and you've been drinking milk because you want strong, healthy bones, and you're like, well, what am I going to do? Start with just buying organic milk. That's a huge step up, because then you won't be getting the genetically modified grain and corn products that are fed to the cows. You won't be receiving that through the cow milk. You won't be receiving the antibiotics, and generally the cows are known to be more ethically raised, which means that you won't be getting all of the stress hormones along with that, etc., etc. There isn't a ton of evidence to show that the organic dairy farms treat their cows as ethically as we'd like them to, but you can learn a lot more about all of that kind of stuff on the PETA website, and 2 documentaries that I really like, Forks Over Knives, and what's the other one? Cowspiracy. Cowspiracy is the other one. So go ahead, and if you're very shocked by this right now, then this is made exactly for you. So please go and check out those sources to learn more about how cows are treated and how we actually don't need milk in our lives, and how we actually do a little bit better without it. So we definitely want strong bones, right? Milk doesn't support strong bones. We don't want genetically modified ingredients coming through the milk to us. We don't want antibiotics coming through the milk to us. And milk from conventional cows, there's also a stigma around it that they're very over pumped. So what comes out in addition to the milk is oftentimes a little bit of pus and a little bit of blood, and it's not something that I want to drink personally. So that's where the ethically raised and ethically treated animals that you're getting milk from, that's where that can come into a huge play. So educate yourself for sure. The best source, of course, would be getting milk from a local organic farmer and checking out the spot. Drive over to their farm and check out what they have going on. If the cow is, squished together in small vicinities, and they don't look like they're being treated right, then they're probably unhealthy, and you probably don't really want to be drinking that kind of milk. But if the cows have lots of room to eat the grass, and they have lots of room to roam, and they look like they're being treated fairly, and the farmer says that the feed is all organic and everything like that, then of course that's a bigger step up even from the organic milk that you might be buying on the shelf. A couple alternatives are coconut milk. I love coconut milk. Here in Hawaii, we have a brand called Pro Foods Hawaii, or Pro Foods, yeah, that's what it's called, Pro Foods Hawaii. It's my favorite brand, big shout out to them, because it doesn't come in cans, number one. I love coconut milk. It's hard to find it locally made, and I don't want to use the canned milk. Plus, cans can leach metals, and even the plastic or the inside of the metal can is usually lined with a little bit of plastic, so we definitely don't want to use canning as much as possible for waste purposes, environmental purposes, etc. So this brand, it comes in small frozen packages, and I just love to put that in my coffee and my smoothies and soups or stews or baked goods or desserts or whatever. Another alternative is, if you have a really high quality blender, just soak about a cup of nuts, so almonds or cashews are my 2 go-tos, and soak them for about 4 to 12 hours. You can even do it longer if you really don't have that much time, or you want to prepare it for the next day or whatever. You can soak it for longer than that too. As long as it's in the fridge, it tends to stay good for a couple days or a few days at least. And then once you have those soaked and rinsed, fill up about 3 to 4 cups of water in the blender with a cup of nuts, and blend that on really high speed for about a good minute or so, and it'll pretty much come liquefied. You'll have like a little bit of grittiness there on the bottom, but it's one of my favorite alternatives. If I don't have coconut milk, then I'll just soak the almonds for a little while and then blend it up and have my own fresh almond milk that doesn't have all of the fillers or, again, the plastic packaging that comes with the almond milk that you would buy on the shelf. So those are some alternatives. I hope that this has brought some attention to you. So if you are brand new to starting out with this and you see this and you're like, wow, I feed milk to my children all the time, or I drink milk in my coffee, or even just like a glass of milk in the morning. I know people are still doing that, so I'm here to bring awareness to the fact that conventionally raised milk is very harmful for our bodies. It doesn't promote strong bones. Local, organic, grass-fed, free-range milk is a far better option, and my favorite option is coconut milk or almond milk or cashew milk, homemade, so that you don't have to use all of the packaging products and then throw it into the waste bins. So thank you so much for watching. If you've benefited from this, please share it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel on Facebook, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll put a link to the newsletter below so that you can get more informative, really good tips and strategies for living your healthiest life ever. And yeah, I hope to add to this series. I have so many things on the list, and I'll be updating it as frequently as possible. If you have any requests for topics, please share them in the comments below, or just go ahead and email them to me, or whatever you want to do. I would love to reply to your comments, because of course from my perspective, I've been living in this health world for a good 10 to 15 years, even my whole life actually, because my family raised me really healthy. So I don't know everyone's what everyone else's view is on health. I love going shopping at places like big supermarkets and seeing what people put in their bins, because a lot of the times people put things in their bins that have a big advertisement on them that say like high in fiber, good for da 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 da, whatever it is. But in reality, those foods actually have a lot more harm than they do good. So is it helpful or is it harmful? You can decide. I'm here to provide information and give you alternatives for making better decisions. Please share this with your friends again, and I hope to hear from you soon. Aloha.